Hey everybody, this is Mike Mitchell with Progressive Church Media, and in this quick tutorial, I want to show you how to use one of our new templates that lets you very easily create an Instagram story. Actually, you could use it with Instagram stories. Facebook also has a stories feature, and Snapchat does too. So you could really use this in a couple of different places. But before we get into this, this is the template. I'll go through this in just a moment. You may not be familiar with what an Instagram story is. The first thing I would suggest, if you fall into that situation, is ask the youth in your church. They will know what an Instagram story is. And I think this is another really great example of how you could probably engage with them and have them help you come up with all kinds of really cool ways to use this as a social media outreach tool for your church. But in case you don't know what an Instagram story is, let me show you this example that I found on this website. This is an example of an Instagram story from E! News. And what an Instagram story is, no, Instagram, remember, really focuses on people posting images and photos. That's really what it's designed for. And so the story concept is essentially taking a group of photos and grouping them together into a set to tell a story. So here's the way uses this. You can see up here, you kind of see these little dashed lines. That shows you how many parts to the story. So it's almost like a slideshow. Think of it that way. So here is the first one, which is just kind of like their title slide. And then after a period of time, it would go to the next one. Now they're using this to kind of give quick headlines of entertainment stories, which matches their brand. And then they would go to the next one. And then we, of course, have Drake. And then so on and so on. So you get the idea, and they would update this on a regular basis. So think of an Instagram story as a series of slides, again, so that you can tell a story. And so let me go ahead and get rid of that. That's what this is. So as I do with most things for you, I've designed this in PowerPoint because you could do this in Photoshop or other types of tools, but a lot of churches don't have that or have people with the expertise for that, and good old PowerPoint you can make do the same thing. So here's what we've done. I've created a set of slides in PowerPoint. These are formatted to be in the right kind of dimensions for an Instagram story, and you'll see, let me just kind of scroll through these. So there are just different templates here, and so the idea is that you could use these to, again, tell a story. So maybe on your first slide, you would put your church name here and put your website, and maybe you want to highlight either some recent things that have happened at your church, or maybe you want to promote something that is coming up. So for example, I'm recording this right around the Easter time frame, and so maybe you wanted to use this as a way to kind of promote all of your Easter Holy Week events. So you could do like a slide for Palm Sunday, and then you could do another one for Maundy, Thursday, and you could do another one for Good Friday, etc., and then put that all out there to promote it. So that's what these are. Each one of these is a slide, and I have put in some placeholders for text. You can just simply highlight those and change that and add to this and really do what you want. What I want to make sure you know how to do today is how to change out these photos. Again, I've just taken some stock photos here just so you can kind of see these are all placeholders, and you can replace them. So let's take this one. And so, I grew up in Indiana, so this kind of reminded me of my childhood in Indiana. But let's say we want to replace this. What I'm going to do is just select that photo, and if I come up here under picture format, what I could do is I could do a couple of things. I could come over here and click on change picture and actually change it that way. But what I'm going to do is just like wholesale delete that photo. So it is totally gone. pretty much a blank slate here. Let's pretend we're starting totally from the beginning. So I'm going to come up here under the Insert menu, come down here to Picture, and I'm going to choose Picture from File. And let me go out here, and I've got some sample photos, and let me grab this one I have not used in this template, and boom, there it is. Now I could use it like that, but I want to make this a little more dramatic. So I'm going to bring it over here, and I'm going to grab with my mouse this little handle right here. And what I'm going to do, this is a little trick. When I click on that, I'm also going to hold down the Shift key, because that's going to allow me to scale this up in terms of the size of the image, but it's going to keep it at the right proportion. So on most computers, if you hold Shift when you click on one of these little handles, it'll let you kind of keep the proportion. So I am going to do that, and let's say, yeah, I want that thing really big, and let me get it about where I want it. Now, obviously, you can see the the challenge here is that you know, it's too big, right? We're overlapping here and here. So what I want to do is crop this so it'll actually fit exactly like it's showing over here in my little preview. And it's really easy to do that. So with the image selected, I'm going to come up here and choose the crop tool. And you'll notice now I've got these little crop guides. These are these kind of dark black lines here. And what I'm going to do is just take one of those. I'm just clicking on it with my mouse, and I'm going to bring it in and right to there. You see, if I go past, you can actually see the edge of the slide there. So I'm going to just put it right on the edge there. Boom. And then do the same thing here. And again, if I went past, I can see, but I want it right there. So you can get that the way you want it. The other thing you can do with this, you know, let's bring this down. I could, you know, I can change the image a little bit in terms of what I want to actually be the focus there. I'm going to put that back, and I'm going to actually put that back to where it was. When you get it exactly the way you want it, and again, I can see kind of a preview over here, that looks pretty good to me, then what I just simply do is click with my mouse anywhere outside of this cropped area. So I'm just going to click, and boom, there it is. Now here's the key on this, or one of the things you just need to know is, let's say I do that and I look at it and I'm like, you know what, I don't quite like this. It's okay. I can reselect that. I can reselect the crop, and then I can recrop this. Now where that may come in handy, and then when I get it ready, I just click away, is, for example, if I come down here, let me move my little dog out of the way here. This is what actually is there. It's just kind of this blank white area. And so what I did is I placed my photos, but then I had to crop them, you know, to get them exactly where I wanted them. I can zoom in here a little bit so you can really see this. But you can see, like, still this one, I don't quite have it all the way covering up that white. And so I can just try to nudge it over a little bit. See, but now I've got the white on this side. Now this kind of gets into, you know, how obsessive you are about these things. But if you want to, my point is, that's where this crop tool really would come in handy. You can see how big that image really was. And again, if I zoom in here quite a bit, let's see if we can scoot this just a little bit. Oops. And then we'll click away. There we go. So my point is, you can fiddle with these as much as you need to until you get them exactly the way you want it. Now let's pretend that I'm all done. I've got everything the way that I want it here. When I'm ready, the first thing I want to do is just come up here and save this as a PowerPoint file in case I want to come back and make any changes later. But then once you've done that, then you want to come back up here to File, choose Export, and right here where it says File Format, you want to choose either JPEG or PNG. JPEG or PNG. Those are file formats for images that really any social media platform uses. I tend to choose PNG. And then when you select that, you say, do you want to save every slide or only the current? Well, if you have put photos on all of these, then you want to choose that option to save everything and then click export. And when you do that, then you're going to get images that you can then post into Instagram as a story. So again, if you're not sure what Instagram stories are, talk to the youth in your church. They will absolutely know what it is. And again, I think this is a great way if you have a youth group, get them involved, let them use the cameras on their phones and things like that to snap all kinds of images of the life of your church, and then do it. What I've seen some people do is kind of do one of these stories on a monthly basis. So maybe every month, it's almost kind of like a digital newsletter that they're putting out. You might want to do a preview of your sermon with maybe an image that you want people to think about. There are all kinds of ways that you can use this. And if you do anything really cool that you're really proud of, please let me know. That's one of my favorite parts of the days, is to be able to read emails for you guys to show all the really cool things that you're doing.